The story we're about to tell you is a true one, just as true and real as our love for its hero. On May 19, 1970, in a little town between two branches of Lake Como, Luca sees the light. What could make a couple feel more blissful than the birth of a beautiful, healthy baby? Well, the answer is simple. The birth of two babies at the same time. To the great surprise of all those expecting him, Luca doesn't start his life's adventure on his own. In fact, his twin brother, Italo, coming into the world 10 minutes before him, saves him a lot of trouble. Luca and Italo are absolutely identical, to the point that it's really hard to tell them apart in the first years of their childhood. This is especially difficult since their mom, Albina, has a habit of stubbornly dressing them in identical clothes. The two kids' personalities, however, prove to be very different right from the start. Luca is spontaneous and naive and gets caught immediately when he makes mischief, while Italo seems to be more cunning and calculating, and as soon as he makes mischief, he hides, hoping to get away with it. Also, Luca has a more theatrical nature, with a tendency to scream and cry for all sorts of reasons. For example, even having to wear that little yellow sweater. Santa Claus, too, with his disquieting long beard, is a very good reason for having a good cry and drawing attention to himself. There are two words that only someone who has a twin brother can fully understand: growing up together, which means sharing everything and every moment of your life with each other and missing each other as soon as you're separated. Brothers and best friends, inseparable and irreplaceable. If you don't have a twin brother, you'll never know what a blessing it is to have somebody by your side all day long, someone to play with, but also share tantrums, pranks, fierce fights, and even fist fights at times. And then continue playing again like nothing ever happened. Being competitive about nearly everything is another significant aspect of living with a twin brother. However, when it comes to children's illnesses, Luca is absolutely unbeatable. He's always the first one to catch them, especially the infectious ones, and then he unfailingly passes them on to his brother. Luca is also the one who will most likely take a beating when he plays and fights with Italo. He's almost at home in the emergency room. Just a couple of stitches on his face, a broken elbow, the metatarsals of one foot completely crushed. Forget about all the grazes, bruises, and dreadful head bumps. Mom and Dad, who are both music lovers, are convinced that their little boy has some hidden musical talent. This idea soon proves to be mistaken, for Luca can't carry a tune in a bucket. Instead, Luca develops a deep love for animals, which over the years turns into a real passion. The last outings in Italy just precede the first big change in Luca's life. He doesn't know it yet, but something very important is about to happen. The family moves to Barcelona, Spain, when Luca is 9 years old. Children need to feel safe and secure. "I want to go home" are the words that all children say, just like, "I want my mommy," when they're tired, sad, or just want to feel protected. Starting all over again is not an easy thing to do, even for a curious, alert child. Moving and changing schools, learning a new language, making new friends. Luckily, Italo is always there by his side to share this new adventure. Finding himself quite suddenly in an unimagined new world is very stimulating and leads Luca to make some big discoveries. Going camping is one of his greatest passions. This is when he realizes how beautiful nature is, and he falls in love with it. This love of nature will get bigger and bigger over time as mountains, lakes, rivers, and watercourses will become part of his life. Patience is a virtue which Luca possesses to a very limited extent, especially in the 80s, when he finds out that fishing is not his cup of tea. As time goes by, inevitably, he reaches the age that all parents dread. Adolescence. The hardest age. The age of conflict and rebellion. The time when the desire for freedom bursts forth, and teens feel strong and fragile at the same time. Traveling as a family is an antidote which Albina and Dante have devised to keep the twins close to them a little bit longer, for they know that their sons will soon go their own way. So often, they set off all together and travel the world. Luca ultimately shows his total lack of patience for snow. After hilariously falling over continuously for the first 5 minutes, he throws off his skis, shouting that skiing is not his kind of thing. Just like the water in the waterfalls he's always loved, time runs really fast, and childhood soon comes to an end. Luca is now an independent young man, ready for the next big change in his life. A change that will be his own decision. Only when it's too late do we realize that youth is the best time of our lives. In Costa Brava, Luca and Italo quickly make new friends. They have their first work experiences too, as lifeguards, as rescuers in a water park, and also as extemporaneous models for swimsuits of a well-known brand. A shared passion for travel continues to be a part of Luca and his family life. Denmark, Holland, Finland, and the North Pole are just a few of the destinations they reach. Luca has always liked children, and he becomes close with a friend's son. And maybe it's a good omen, but it's still too early for Luca, as his studies and sports still play too great a role in his life. He graduates with excellent grades, and to celebrate, he rewards himself with a holiday in the Alps. Maybe this is also an opportunity to take leave of Italo and the rest of the family, because soon after, he will go to the US to complete his master's degree. He comes home to celebrate his father's 50th birthday and to see his old friends and family. He meets Italo again, and once again, they celebrate their birthday together, their 28th, just as they've always done. However, this birthday is a special one, different from all the other birthdays he spent with his brother, for his life will change dramatically in just a few days.
L'amore è un petalo leggero che è caduto all'improvviso sul mio prato, come le bolle che soffiavo da bambino dal sapone da bucato. La meraviglia delle cose che ho scoperto solo quando sei arrivata. L'amore è la gioia che rimbalza intorno mentre mangi il cioccolato. La luce bella dei tuoi occhi e quel sorriso quando gridi sei tornato. E quell'abbraccio cuore a cuore ad occhi chiusi che mi lascia senza fiato. Milioni di briciole d'amore che il tempo soffierà lontano e tu non troverai. L'amore gioca a nascondino tra le cose che ti scorderai e tu non troverai mai più, mai più, mai più, mai più.
Mi lascia senza fiato l'amore che ho trovato.
L'amore è un petalo leggero che col sole salta e gioca sul mio prato.
Mi salta sul mio prato.
Anche se intorno è tanto freddo, un suo sorriso può far sciogliere un gelato.
Cioccolato.
Non riesco a credere che prima del suo arrivo il mondo possa aver girato.
There are many different ways to grow up and become a man. One of them, perhaps the best one, is with a cradle. In Italian, extraordinary things are often referred to as being monstrous. Luca is no exception and gives his little daughter, with her stunning blue eyes, the nickname Il mio piccolo mostro. Since May 31st, 1998, the day Xenia was born, Luca, once a carefree, happy-go-lucky young man, turns into a caring, attentive father. All his energy is devoted to her, the little newcomer who utterly changed his life. The most wonderful thing in the world is to spend time with Xenia. Just as his parents did with him from a very early age, Luca starts traveling the world with little Xenia. Eventually, they end up in the same little village that had somehow inspired him when naming his daughter, La Xenia. They then return to California, but they won't be staying there for long.
My love, don't ever be afraid. For the mountains, the sea, the caves, and the rivers, they must be your friends. The world is big, and it will take us a long time to travel all over it. But don't ever worry, because your daddy will always be here with you. And don't ever be afraid of animals either, for if you learn to treat them with love, they'll always be your friends, even when they don't look so nice.
I love going places with Mom. America is so big, and there are tons of fun things to do. I love celebrating my 3rd birthday with lots of new friends. Italy is really pretty too. There are crooked towers, strange monuments, and old castles, where a long time ago there were knights and real princesses, just like me. Looking for pumpkins is another cool thing to do. Why? Well, to make a jack-o'-lantern, of course. It's not easy, but my dad maybe is one of the best lantern makers in the world. Just look at this one. Yeah, I know I'm a bit of a princess, but sometimes I'm a little witch too. You may not know, but I'm growing up really fast. I'm 4 now, and I always have so much fun with my dad. He always takes me to super cool places. He really loves animals, and I like them too. Tigers, elephants. But I'm a little bit scared of lions. My dad told me that there's a place in America where grown-ups go to play. But that's not true because even kids play a lot there. It's a strange place called Las Vegas. Here, you don't need to travel to see lots of far-off places around the world, so I don't quite understand why people need to travel so far to see things. But my dad still goes traveling far and wide. He even took me to the desert. What I really don't understand is why he always makes me climb up the walls, if they were just walls. As soon as he sees anything that looks like a vertical wall, he just can't stop himself. And since, to be honest, I'm pretty good at climbing too now, Dad gave me one of the greatest gifts ever. I wonder why my dad is so obsessed with the desert. I'm not so wild about it myself. We even saw ghosts there once. Luckily, we still go to the mountains sometimes. It feels good to wear a winter jacket, and it's always nice to see some water too. But it never lasts long, and at the end of the day, we always go back to the desert. You think it's easy to keep up with him? It's from one place to another and back and forth all the time. Never a quiet moment to watch my cartoons. Thank goodness there are birthday parties with my friends when I can finally relax a little bit. Not for long enough though, because we need to go to Spain right away.
Ti piace?
But this time, it's for a very good reason. My cute little cousin has just been born. His name's Dante, just like my grandpa. From the snow to dinosaurs, from caves to rhinos, from the swimming pool to the playground. And of course, we can't miss out on horseback riding or canoeing, can we? I'll end up climbing another wall anyway. that's for sure. Then I finally get to go back home and play with my friends again. I'm still a princess after all. My dad has no limits. He can go from a salt wall to an ice wall without blinking an eye. And one moment later, here we are in a cave again, just before jumping into a waterfall, a little river, or a small lake. Everybody knows that princesses never want to leave their castle. Never mind, my dad tries really hard to find comfortable, nice little places for me, sometimes even special ones. They may be a bit too hot sometimes, but we always travel in first class. And sometimes we meet some really cool and nice friends. My dad also really loves transportation. The more comfortable, the better. I've got to say that we've seen a whole lot of things together, and some of them are even better than they look in the photos. Anyway, wherever we go, whether it's Africa or the North Pole, I always end up in a cave or climbing up some wall. Time really flies by. Look at my cousin Dante. He's grown up quite a bit. I'm 10 years old now, and I've even had my first communion. We never get a break. Have I told you that my father has a real passion for animals? Not only do we love horses, but you can't imagine what we did for stray cats and dogs. You should have seen how that big dog was drooling.
Dov'è il cane? Tiffanie.
That was a good one, wasn't it? We deserve a little rest in the mountains now. Also, because, Dad, you're reaching a ripe old age. You should slow down a little. Although I know it'd be easy to fix a rearing horse, then get you to take a rest. Thank goodness, I'm always there to look after you. And I know how to give you some really relaxing moments. Which, of course, never lasts long enough with you. Anyway, you're the only one who could ever make me do these things. Even pop out of there. Seeing Las Vegas again now that I've grown up gives me a completely different feeling. When I was a child, it all looked like a very large playground to me. But now, it looks even bigger. These big cities seem to have no boundaries. Just like your passion for canyoning. And this time, I've fallen into it too.
Ok. Vai, quando vuoi, un saltino. Tieni le gambe chiuse, ok?
1, 2,
Ok?
3.
Ok, pronta?
Ok, posso?
Sì, vai. Un saltino.
1, 2,
Ok?
3.
has flown by really quickly, hasn't it? I've really grown up now. I know it's not always been a bed of roses between us. We've had some rough times too, like everyone. I know I made you worry, even quite a lot at times. I know that I also gave you lots of joy, like at my graduation, when I saw you crying. This time, it was from happiness, though. And I was just as happy because I knew you were proud of me. And I'll always make you proud of me. I promise. There's so many other things I wish I had told you. I had told you. I had told you.
It's on Halloween night of 2013 that Luca meets Tiffanie, the one he loves to call the woman of his life. From the very start, they realize that they share a great passion for sport, nature, and travel. They immediately become inseparable and share each and every journey or adventure, in spite of the fact that their love story is only just beginning. The great poet Omar Khayyam said, "Life is a trip, and traveling is living twice." Luca and Tiffanie start a new life together. Being constantly on the move, having to adapt all the time, or to change your habits can put a lot of strain on a relationship. But this is not the case for them. Their first journey to the Far East ultimately strengthens their bond. Luca has found his perfect mate, the one that goes along with his wishes and supports him in all his adventures. Even in the middle of a climbing trip, Tiffanie finds the time to take an improvised cake to celebrate Luca's first birthday with her. In America, nature has a lot to offer. Virtually all of the things that Luca and Tiffanie deeply love. Including the fun and entertainment required to get some relaxation after a strenuous endeavor in the desert or on the mountains. Whenever Tiffanie can take some time off work, Luca gets her to go with him to the places which are his natural environment and which he can't stay away from. What could be more romantic than celebrating your first anniversary with your loved one, harnessing her up, taking her on a mountain climbing trip, and then, after nicely pulling her tail, inviting her to dinner. Stopping Luca is virtually impossible, especially now that he has found his perfect mate, the one who is ready to follow him everywhere, be it to the mountains or the seaside, where she captures this scene of Luca rescuing an injured seabird. Tiffanie and her Captain America are tireless. After saving the world, they explore it again. Because travel and love always have the magical power to turn adults into kids. And kids always have a smile on their face. They find they have something else in common, their love for animals. Just a little break to celebrate Christmas, then it's on the road again. There's no better start into the new year than going canyoning and then having a refreshing dip. Following St. Augustine's advice, which said, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page." Tiffanie and Luca go on turning page after page of that book. Traveling around Europe, Asia, America, Australia. Just put on a pair of new shoes and you can travel the world, said an old Italian song dating back to the 30s. Well, Luca surely wore out quite a few pairs of shoes. Indochina has always fascinated them, so they decided to go back to Cambodia and Thailand. Playing with elephants is quite an unusual experience.
Yeah.
Bathing with them is something really extraordinary. But seeing Tiffanie and Luca so well dressed, now that's the most extraordinary of all. Tiffanie, the part of this video dedicated to you is just a little thank you for staying by his side and making Luca happy. We'd just like to leave you with our affection and with this quote from an anonymous poet, because we believe Luca would have liked to dedicate it to you. To the world, you may be only one person, but to one person, you may be the entire world.
Listen to the raindrops falling on the world outside. Just like a million thoughts inside my head and stories in my mind. I wish that I could close my eyes and find a quiet place to much of anything except another breath of you. And I hope that there are angels watching everything we do. Can I finally say today's the day that I surrender all my love to you? Hey. So tell me something, baby. Tell me, should I stay or tell me, should I go? 'Cause I've been thinking lately that this time I've gotta let my feelings show. 'Cause I don't wanna hear, well maybe, I don't wanna hear, we'll try. I've been waiting all my life to fall in love. So tell me that I'm just not dreaming. Tell me everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be
Poi magari con Italo ci scambiamo qualche giorno, così può andare anche lui. Sì, sì, siccome siamo così uguali. Però lo devo riportare qui. Ma sorridi, sorridi. Luca! Allora, porta al paradiso. Digli che poi mi raccontate che io sono camping. Glielo diciamo. Vedere cosa ci dice lui. Adesso ci danno la charla del camping. Allora papà, cosa ne dici? Pinguini? Che puzza che fanno, Dio mio. Peccato che non si registra. Ehi, che si cae. Poverino. Allora, contento?
So far, so good. We're in Australia, going to the Great Barrier Reef. You can see cars in the back, some of the lights, the jungle to our left, to our right, and we are going 150 miles that way to dive one of the best diving